In this video we're going to be taking a look on pages Access 90 and 91, in which we're going to resize and align controls. After watching this video, you should be able to align data within a control and align the borders of controls. Now, after you add information to the appropriate section of a report, you might also want to align the data in precise columns and rows to make the information easier to read. To do so, you can use two different types of alignment commands. You can left, right, or center align a control within its own border using the Align Left, Center, and Align Right buttons on the Home tab. You can also align the edges of the controls with respect to one another using the left, right, top, and bottom commands on the Align button of the Arrange tab in the Report Design view. Let's take a look now at Step 1 on page Access 90, which tells us that we now want to switch to the Layout view. So we go to our Tours by State tab, right-click, and then we can go to our Layout view. Then next, we want to click on the Design tab if it's not already selected. And then we want to click on the Group and Sort button to toggle off the Group, Sort, and Total pane. That gives us a little bit more of our screen that we can see here. And it tells us now that we decide to align the expression that subtotal the number of tour days for each category within the duration column. And to do that, we move on to Step 2. And in Step 2, it tells us to click the Total Days text box. Now that's the one that has the expression in it, not the one that has the word Total Days in it. So we click the Total Days text box with the expression in it, and that's in the category footer, and then we click on our Home tab. Then next, we're going to click on the Align Right button in the text formatting group. And of course that's going to align our numbers to the right. Then it tells us that we want to use our resizing pointer to resize the text box so that the data is aligned in the duration column. And of course here's our duration column here. So we want to click on this and just resize this so that number is right aligned with that duration. And of course this is similar to how it looks in figure D-13 on page Access 91. Now with the calculation formatted as desired in the category footer, you can quickly apply those modifications to the calculation in the state abbreviation footer as well. And to do that, we move on to Step 3. But before that, a quick tip. You can also use the buttons on the Format tab to align and format text, including applying numbers and formats or increasing and decreasing decimals. Now in Step 3, it tells us that we want to scroll down in our report far enough to find and then click on the Total Days text box in the state abbreviation footer. And of course that's the one right here. Or of course you could find another one, but this is the closest one that we have here. But we're going to click on this where it has 126 in it. Then we're going to click on our Home tab. And then we're going to click on our Right Align again. So that's going to right align our expression here. And then we're going to resize using our resizing pointer so that this is right in align with our other text boxes. And so that it's the same width as the text box in the category footer section. Now with both expressions right aligned and resized so they line up underneath the duration values in the detail section, they are easier to read on the report. In Step 4, it tells us that we can scroll the report so you can see all of the Colorado tours as shown in figure D14. So we can scroll up a little bit and then scroll down, and then of course there is our Colorado tours, and we see how it's laid out and how nice and neat it looks out. Of course, remember, if you make a mistake, you can always click the Undo button on the Quick Access toolbar to undo your last step. Now, on the bottom of page Access 90, it tells us a little bit about moving precisely and resizing controls. Now, you can move and resize controls using the mouse or other pointing device, but you can also move controls more precisely by using the keyboard. Now, pressing the arrow keys while holding the Control key down moves selected controls 1 pixel or picture element at a time in the direction of the arrow. Now, pressing the arrow keys while holding Shift resizes the selected controls 1 pixel at a time. So the control key, holding it down while pressing your arrow key, will move the control, while pressing your Shift key will actually resize it. And that's all 1 pixel at a time. And of course, if you look on the bottom of page Access 91, it talks a little bit about some different techniques on selecting more than one control at a time in the Report Design view. Now, if you would click and then press and hold your Shift key and then click again, click is a control and on there, and then when you press and hold the Shift key while clicking other controls, each other one is selected. So when you click a control and then you press your Shift key and then click other controls, that's going to select multiple controls. You can also drag a selection box. And when you drag a selection box, you'll see an outline box you create by dragging the pointer in the Report Design view. So if I was wanting, if I was in the Report Design view here, I'll switch to Design view. I can click and I can just drag that, and that's a selection box as well. And every control that is in it or touched by the edges of the box is selected. Of course, I can also click in the ruler, and I can click in either the horizontal or vertical ruler to select all the controls that intersect in that line. So if I click right up in here, maybe on the 3-inch mark, anything that is cutting through that 3-inch mark is going to be selected. And of course, I could also drag in the ruler as well, and drag through either the horizontal or vertical ruler to select all controls that intersect the section or the selection line as it is dragged throughout the ruler. And that concludes the information that's on pages Access 90 and 91. You're ready to move on to the next video in which we're going to format a report.